now we'll turn our attention to this feud. The President of the Court of Appeal, the NJC, CJN, Justice Aloysius Katsina-Alu. Yes, it's been on for a while, and now it seems to be resuming. Well, every now and then you get to hear various versions and perspectives as to what really is going on. But we'll get to find out from, of course, from members of that judiciary, what really do they think about what's happening. But remember, yesterday there was a report which went, we'll take you back to that report, and then, first and foremost, let's see this. Okay, well, Mr. Ikeji joins us now. He's a legal practitioner. But one thing, when that report, we're going to highlight the first scenario when it was alleged that how could NJC refuse to be served the writ of summons after they had gone to court, a statement of claim and all. But then they came up and said, well, actually, it was not that we refused to be served, it was not duly signed, but subsequently they were then served. But it's all happening, and then you practitioners, I don't know how you all see this, what you say when you get to the hallowed chambers or you get to the court premises. What's your perspective on what really is happening now?
Well, thank you first of all for having me. The issue of service should be a post-analysis issue. In other words, it should be a post-event analysis issue. We would come to that at a later event when we finish the prior events leading to the service, leading to the court processes. Which was what the committees that start and then the committee, yes, the actions, yes, the actions preceding the panel and the sitting of the panel and the report of the panel. Okay. Those are the stages. After the report of the panel, the matter was taken to court and service was attempted to be effected. Tell us about that before we get for the service, the reporting service. Oh, okay. You see, we in the legal profession are very, very unhappy. I speak for a lot of us with the situation, in the sense that what is happening in the top echelon, if you like, the topmost echelon of the judiciary in Nigeria, is sending a wrong signal. Is sending very, very wrong signals of both questions of integrity, questions of the sacrosanct nature of pronouncements of the justices, respect for the judiciary, and most especially, what does the common man see in terms of our often quoted cliche, so to speak, the judiciary being the last hope of the common man? What would be his reaction to these events if from the topmost there is a kind of disbalance in psychological reasoning, so to speak? Let's take this report. So we'll just put everything in the same mix. Now, this was when it was supposed to be served. The NJC was supposed to be served the writ of summons or statement of claim, if you will. But then this was what happened when they tried.
From the chambers of Chief Akin Olujimi at the headquarters of the National Judicial Council in Abuja as they attempt to effect service of court processes filed against the decision of the National Judicial Council on the dispute between the Appeal Court President and the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Although the lawyers succeeded in gaining access into the National Judicial Council, no official of the council was on hand to accept the process, and the security men who initially accepted the process later dropped it by the entrance of the council. Efforts to reach spokesman for the council, Mr. Sojioye, was unsuccessful as his phone was switched off and the text message sent to his line was not replied as at the time of filing this report. But lawyer to Justice Ayo Salami, Chief Akin Olujimi, described the refusal of service as highly embarrassing.
The process being refused by the National Judicial Council, wouldn't you agree with me that that's sending wrong signals to the public? If the man on the street there refuses to accept service, maybe we say because he's ignorant. But what do you say of that very high body composed of eminent justices And the secretary of the institution obviously is very well informed in the law himself. And I do not see why he should refuse service of court process. It bothers me a lot. It's scandalous.
Justice Ibrahim Auta panel had urged Justice Ayo Salami to publicly apologize to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Aloysius Katsina Alu, over his allegation of undue interference in the 2007 Sokoto governorship election petition.
Well, right after that report, of course, you remember at the time that was filed, there were some developments subsequently occurred. Well, so of course, channels did follow up, and here was the follow-up.
It is mandatory for the National Judicial Council to obey and comply with all court orders and processes. Therefore, the Secretariat of the Council has no right whatsoever to refuse or evade service of any court process. In the matter under reference, a writ of summons purportedly issued by the Federal High Court, Abuja Division, was brought to the Council by two lawyers, namely Messrs. Oluwaseo Ben and Joshua U. Ogene, on 15th August 2011 from Chief Akinolu Olujimi, SAN Chambers. After perusing through the writ, the Assistant Chief Constitutional Secretary discovered that it was undated and unsigned. Shortly after that, they came back and went to the office of the Secretary. In the presence of the two lawyers aforementioned, Director of Administration, Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, and the Assistant Chief Confidential Secretary, the Secretary asked them whether the writ that was brought the previous day for service was duly signed and dated. The lawyers confirmed that it was now signed and dated. Having been certified by the Secretary that it was indeed duly signed and dated, the writ was accepted on 16th August 2011